The United States is considering designating the Houthi movement in Yemen a terrorist group. The Iranian-backed group has been mounting attacks against commercial shipping in the Red Sea in retaliation for Israel's war in Gaza. On Tuesday, the U.S. announced a multinational naval alliance to protect vessels in the region from further Houthi attacks. The UK is among the initial 10 countries that have joined the coalition. Now, UK Foreign Secretary, David Cameron stressed the need to keep one of the world's most important shipping routes free and secure.
What I think is necessary in the Red Sea is to make sure that shipping can keep moving, can keep delivering oil, can keep delivering goods. And so this maritime task force that is being set up is looking for partners to help to allow that to happen. And Britain is going to be one of those partners, and I think Italy is going to be one of those partners too. For ourselves, we'll be lending some of our ships to that task. And I think it's very important that there's a very clear message to the Houthis in Yemen who've been launching all these attacks that, these attacks will not be tolerated, and we will defend ourselves against them, and it's very important that shipping keeps moving.
Now, for more on the war in Gaza, we can cross live to Bethlehem and speak with our special correspondent, Karl Bostic. Karl, great to see you. Thank you for joining us on Newsday. Of course, you're in Bethlehem now, only a few days before Christmas. Are there any preparations for Christmas there at this time of war?
Good afternoon. Usually this time of year, Bethlehem, which is the birthplace of Jesus Christ, is just bustling with activity. This is an economy that depends on tourism. But this year, there will be no Christmas to celebrate. In fact, the municipality of Bethlehem in November announced that Christmas would be canceled. And even as I arrived here from Israel, the streets were empty. This square behind me, Nativity Square, is empty. And there are no plans at all for anything, and the economy has simply collapsed. 70% of the economy of revenue has gone away, has fallen. There are 24 main hotels in Bethlehem that cater to tourism, 24 main hotels. There are no hotel bookings. Those 24 hotels are now empty. Usually on a day like today, especially around Christmas, with coming up in just a few days from now, there are 120 buses a day pouring into Nativity Square, Bethlehem behind me. 120 buses. There are no buses at all today ever since the war began. Also, ever since the war began, Palestinians who would work from the West Bank to go into Israel to work, 150,000 in all. None of them have been working in Israel. From Bethlehem, that's $11,000. So the economy has just taken a massive hit. I mean, this time last year, there was a giant Christmas tree in Nativity Square, brightly lit. There were activities for children. There were choirs singing every day from the end of November through Christmas into January. You saw nothing but colored lights everywhere. The streets had lights strung at night, brightly lit streets, a lot of singing, a lot of tourists from many countries, thousands of tourists a day. Now it's nothing. In fact, I said, where the tourists, workers said to me point blank, well, it looks like you are the tourist. Reality, of course, everyone is very what the war has done to the economy here, and they're not happy, with the suffering and hardships they're seeing on all sides, and they want this to end. But unfortunately, when it does end, it won't be in time for Christmas to be celebrated here in Bethlehem, of all places. When the patriarch of the Latin Church gives services on Sunday, it will be to an empty square, an empty church for Christians around the world to observe in their own quiet way, without any peace at all, here in, of all places, Bethlehem.
Yeah, just looking at those images, it looks almost apocalyptic, especially for this time of the year. But unfortunately, no good news yet, concerning developments. Can you tell us some of the latest from the war in Gaza?
Well, even as we speak, Israel is still ramping up its offensive in Gaza. Now it's being reported that a brigade of soldiers is going into Khan Yunis. A brigade usually means thousands of Israeli soldiers. This may be the last major offensive of the war, and really a decisive battle in Khan Yunis, because that's where the Hamas leadership is hiding. And after multiple visits of high-ranking U.S. officials, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was the most recent back on Monday. There's a lot of pressure on Israel to have to wind this down, this intensive phase down, within the next few weeks by the middle of January. That's because of just the massive scale of hardships we're seeing in terms of mass starvation, spread of diseases, and just, displaced people, more than 2.3 million people living in the bottom half of the Gaza Strip, 40% of all buildings destroyed. One UN official said, this war may not even be halfway over yet. He said, there could still be weeks and weeks and weeks more to come. For now, there's a lot of pressure for Israel to wind down this intensive phase by January, if not the middle of January. But there would still be then specific commando-type raids going in and out of certain areas of Gaza. They're saying they have operational control of Jabalia in northern Gaza. But to put things in perspective, operational control means control of Gaza above ground, because Hamas still has that vast network of tunnels, hundreds of miles, which Israel is now methodically, slowly trying to destroy.
Right, that's Arise Special Correspondent Karl Bostic reporting live from Bethlehem. Thank you so much for that update, and we do hope that there can be some type of positive news for Christmas.